Tim, and I'm back with another episode of uh, Tim's 70's Memories and Music. For those of you who don't recognize the intro music I had here, it was from this album here. It's the title track from the Osmonds, Crazy Horses. It's from 1972 on MGM. I usually don't play music in my videos, but I figured maybe in this series I might do a little snippet of music from a song from the 70's just as some intro music. And a lot of vinyl collectors look for that album, especially for that. That's a song that a lot of people like. That's a album's more a rock album by the Osmonds that were more known for pop music. Uh, as you can see, I had a little bit of artwork there, and as you can tell, I'm not much of an artist. As a matter of fact, one of my memories is my first stuff in school was in 7th grade art. That was, yes, back in the 70's. That's how lousy I've always been at art. But last time I had touched a little bit on radio stations in my hometown up in northern Iowa, and I'll talk. I figured I'd talk a little bit more about the radio stations and radio in general around there back then. See, radio's changed a lot since then, especially in areas like that. You didn't have up there. You have more of these stations now where they could have stations for the different subgenres of music. Back then, you didn't see that. People have said that I have a wide variety of taste in my music. Back then, the stations I listened to, they played every subgenre. They didn't classify it as a different subgenres. It was all just classified under rock at the time. They didn't say, "Oh, pop, prog, metal, or hard rock, or anything like that." It was all classified under rock. I didn't hear those terms till later on, and so I'd hear how that lumped in together on the radio, and just listen to like episodes of the American Top 40 of the 70's, and you'll hear the different subgenres lumped in together on that even. And also in the 70's, the radio stations, the local stations would have their own like top 40 list also. They started collecting their own top 40 list for the local areas. And so the stations would play the songs for, and the way they collected them, kept track of that is that the requests at the stations, the number of requests the stations got for the songs, and also like the 45 sales at the local stores. Of course, you don't really see 45s being sold anymore, so they can't really track that. It's all pretty much, if people want to buy a song, they go on to iTunes and buy it now. So they can't really keep track of stuff from the local stores. It's hard to keep track of the stuff locally for hits. Plus the radio stations locally, like I said before, they might take requests for hour a day of over the lunchtime. Hey, when I was growing up, this was in the evening hours where the stations would take requests like from 6 or 7 at night till like 9 or 10. This was at least Monday through Friday. That was more than an hour a day. That was like 2, 3, 4 hours a day of 5 days a week. That's at least 20 hours a week. And also, here, when they, for contests and stuff, you hear the DJs having the contests. They have these big things, these contests, hyping stuff up for a contest where they have these big get-togethers. The get-togethers are in bars. Back then, no. They made it so these teenagers could go to these too, or it would be at places out, like outside, and not at bars. But anymore, they aim it at more adults than teens. Oh yeah, you'll see some of these pop stations aim it more at kids. But I know a lot of teens that listen to classic rock and classic hit stations, and a lot of these contests they have the big finales for them in bars. Those are some of my memories from the 70s. Oh, and also with radio stations, yeah, I've even talked to DJs, and they said they miss it from back then because the radio has changed so much since then. It was a lot nicer being a DJ back in that time than it is now. They had a little more control over what they did than what DJs do nowadays. Everything's so computerized now that they don't have much control over the pick of the songs and stuff. Okay, well, I'll show some of my music I have pulled out, some that I listened to this past week. Okay, here's one that don't know how many people have heard of this guy. This is Alan O'Day. Album titled is Appetizers. It's from 1977 on Pacific Records. This guy wrote the song Angie Baby that was a hit for Helen Reddy. But off this album, this guy had a hit of his own. It's the title of the hit of his is Undercover Angel, if you remember that. See, I had come across this at a garage sale one time where a guy that used to be a DJ at a radio station. This was in Clinton, Iowa, that I came across it. That guy was having a garage sale or a yard sale. It was a nice spring day, and my wife and I were going around to garage sales, and came across this one, and they saw quite a few albums, and they were a quarter a piece. And I started talking to him, and he said he used to be a DJ at a radio station, and he got all these albums there, and he had digitized all of them. And he said, "Hey, a lot of both these were one-hit wonders." I said, "Hey, I like that type of albums. This is one of them I got for that. Got at that." And speaking of one-hit wonders, this is another one that was pretty much one. Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods. Of course, a big hit for them off this one is this is from '74, I should say. ABC big hit off this one was "Billy Don't Be a Hero," which you might remember. For those that were around at the time, I should say. If not, you can probably find it on YouTube. It was a big hit for them back then. Okay, Sean Cassidy. He was on he was also an actor. His brother, or half brother, whatever, David Cassidy, was on the Partridge Family. And also a singer. His mother was Shirley Jones, who was also on the Partridge Family. He Sean was in the Hardy Boys Mystery Hour, Hardy Boys Mysteries, and he had some hits. And off this one, he had a hit with Hey Deanie, which was written by Eric Carmen. This is from '77 on Warner Records. Okay, and I know I have some Canadian viewers, they'll like this one. Iron Horse. This album's from '79 on Scotty Brothers Records. Of course, Iron Horse was formed by Randy Bachman, as I pronounce it. I've also heard it pronounced Bachman. Of course, he was in the Grateful Dead and Bachman Turner Overdrive or Bachman Turner Overdrive. And he left them like in 76 or 77, and he did some other projects. Like I think he produced some of Trooper's albums, and he also formed Iron Horse for one or two albums. And this is their debut album, and they had a hit with the song Sweet Louie Louise off of this album. And like I said, this is from '79. Like I said, and all these stations, or all these songs, are songs that were played on the local radio in my town, all on the same station. This one was pretty much one that was rock. Some of the others were more pop. The Osmonds was more rock. This one was more like more country or country rock. This was more country rock than pop or country pop. This is Mac Davis. Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me. This is from '72 on Columbia. Of course, like I said, it has it. Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me on it. And if I remember right, I think he had a hit with is it Friend, Lover, Woman, Wife? I can't remember if that was it. I think there was another one on here. But Mac was also known for his songwriting. He's written other hits that for people, songs that were hits for other artists. But I really thoroughly enjoyed his music, and you'll see me show more of his albums throughout the series. Here's one that was rock also. This one this is JoJo Gunn. This is their debut album. I think this is from '72. Yes, '72 on Atlantic. This has has Jay Ferguson in it. And this has had a hit with the song Run, Run, Run on it. This is more rock. And now I can't remember what group he was in before this. I'm forgetting right now. That comes with age too. But a band that was popular in the late 60s, and then later on in the 70s, he also had a hit, a solo hit with Thunder Island, which I also have in my collection that you'll see later on. But they had a hit with that has JoJo Gunn with Run Run Run, which is on this album. Okay, and told you Cassidy was an actor in a TV show. But can't remember whether that was yet in '79. That might have been '80 that was on. But here's an actor from a TV show from back in the '70s, a real popular TV show. That's David was in the TV show Starsky and Touch, a police show from popular police show from back in the '70s. This is a solo album of his. He was more of a saying more like folk. This album's from '76 on Private Stock Records, and he did have a hit off this one with the song "Don't Give Up on Us." And this is actually a pretty good album. I enjoyed this album, and so. And the final album I have here is another one from '76 on Private Stock. This is Starbuck. Moonlight Feels Right. The title track was a hit for them off of here. And all these are music that they played like on just one station. They play all this music. You notice there was a variety of stuff on here. It's not like all pop or all rock. Some of it had a country influence to it. So and sometimes radio back in the '70s was a little more like freeform. Not entirely, but it was. Talked about in the area I lived. It wasn't actually freeform, but it was a lot closer than what radio is now. So until next time, have a great day and a great week.